So all of these things from Costco are not USA products. They are either Canada or Guatemala or Mexico or Ireland or India. So there are lots and lots of options that you can get at Costco without contributing to the United States. Just saying.
Starting today, LCBO, the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world, will begin removing U.S. products from its store shelves. And as the exclusive wholesaler, American brands will no longer be available in LCBO catalog, meaning other retailers, bars, and restaurants in the province will no longer be able to restock U.S. products. This is an enormous hit to the American producers. Every year, the LCBO sells nearly $1 billion worth of U.S. wine, beer, cider, seltzers, and spirits, including more than 3,600 products from 35 states. As of today, every single one of these products is off the shelves.
Increasingly, when Canadians go to the grocery store now, they're looking for Canadian goods. For example, Starbucks, obviously, multinational, mostly American brand, but come down the aisle ever so slightly and you start to see the maple leaf. And that indicates it is a Canadian brand if you're looking to stay domestic. So this Irresistible brand, for example, usually there's something on here made in Canada from imported ingredients. So it's prepared here, not entirely Canadian. Of course, they don't grow coffee in Canada, but it's a Canadian firm. And you go into supermarkets, you go to other kinds of retail outlets. Now, increasingly, there is this movement here: buy Canadian, stay local, support the Canadian economy, if in fact these tariffs ever kick in.
So our friends in Canada are continuing their boycott of the United States. And this article per CBC News says U.S. tourism faces $5.7 billion loss as Canadians continue to stay home. And the article reads, many Canadians continue to boycott travel to the United States, and the U.S. economy is paying the price. A U.S. Travel Association report forecasts a 3.2% decline in international tourism spending in the country for 2025, a loss of $5.7 billion U.S. compared to the previous year. The association largely attributes the loss to a decline in the number of Canadian visitors, a trend that has persisted since U.S. President Donald Trump returned to office in January, sparked a trade war with Canada, and began referring to the country as the 51st state. Also, I would like to add the fact that I think a lot of Canadians would fear for their lives if they were to enter the United States, with the fear of being picked up by immigration. In the latest data for October, the number of return trips among Canadians traveling to the U.S. dropped by 24% for air travel and 30% for land travel, compared with the same time last year. That marks 10 straight months. And we're seeing a lot of tourism decline in such places as Vegas, Florida, and the boycotting of U.S.-made goods such as whiskey. And I honestly do not blame the Canadians at all. You guys are standing firm on your decision, and I completely support it.
Now, it's been rumored that trade talks between Canada and the United States are fully underway. And you could always tell when the United States are a little irritated or really irritated with us, because they will always bring it to the media. Now, sometimes they do it, they'll just come out and just say what they have to say, or sometimes they will do it a little bit more low key. So I've been seeing a lot in the media in the past couple of days, both from news outlets, from content creators, on regards to the boycotting of American traveling and alcohol. And a lot of questions have been asked. Are Canadians still in favor of the boycott? So I'm curious to know, are you guys in favor of traveling to the United States and or purchasing American alcohol? Leave a comment below. I would love to hear. Until next time.
Canadians are taking this boycott seriously. So I was up in Vancouver over the weekend, and we went out to a bar on Friday night. We went to the bartender to get some shots. My friend's not a big drinker, so he wanted something on the sweeter end. We ordered Washington apples. So the bartender goes to make it, and then he turns back around. He's like, "Ooh, sorry, I can't make that because I don't have the apple liqueur. It's made in the States, and we got rid of everything that's made in the States." And I look across the bar, didn't see any Tito's, didn't see some of the bigger name brands that I'm used to seeing at bars. And so I thought that was really interesting, and honestly kind of agreed with them. I was like, good for you guys. I mean, the way our government is treating our allies with the Canadians is just disgusting, and I'm proud of them for standing up for what they're doing. Then on the way back yesterday, so we get to the border crossing, and it was 2 hours long. We sat in that line, just absolutely insane. I've never seen it be like that. Usually it's a long line, but it's kind of cruising through. We actually get to the guards themselves. They've got 4 of the 7 lanes open, and once we're third in line, and we're just watching this guard just spend forever on this car. And finally, we get up to him, and we get to see why he was taking so long. The guy was just hostile. I mean, immediately met with straight up hostility towards us. I don't know if it's because my friend was Asian and he was driving, and there might have been a racist component to it, but just fully hostile. Usually they're strictly business, but they're polite enough. And that was not the case this time. I've never seen them like full on. He's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Seattle." "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I live there." It was just weird. And yeah, so like the tension's really, really palpable between your engagements with the side. When we were going up to Canada, didn't feel that at all. Like the guard, again, strictly business. They're not there to chat and be friendly, but she was totally fine with us, heading up there for the weekend. But coming back, man, they opened the trunk, digging through stuff, like just really, really hostile and unnecessary. So yeah, so let's see how this keeps going. That's our situation, but still had a great time in Vancouver. Always do.
Donald Trump, thank you for causing the Canadians to boycott the United States. I thought you said you were a smart businessman, Donald Trump. When you cause your customers not to come and buy your product, to travel to your country, that is not a wise decision. It only costs the American workers money. That is not a smart thing to do. They are boycotting all American products, and they're boycotting travel to the United States. Thanks to your wisdom to tariff Canada, and thanks to your wisdom to constantly joke about making Canada the 51st state. They're not interested. It's not going to happen. All you've done is turn our closest ally and closest friend into somebody that does not like us, will not buy American products, and will not travel to the United States because of you. You, Donald Trump. So when you see your sales to Canadians drop because they don't buy our products, they're not buying Coca-Cola, they're not buying Campbell's soup, they're not buying Frito-Lay, they're not buying Lay's potato chips, they're not buying Apple, they're not traveling here, thanks to Donald Trump. So if you work in these business and industries, travel and tourism, you can thank Donald Trump when it slows down. Thank you, Donald Trump. You are such a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant person. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my kookas, my burn out light bulbs, and my Canadian Jew too. Also, guys, this is my second channel. This is my backup channel, Greg 3. Greg 2 is my main channel.
Boycott the United States as much as you can because it's such a hegemonic power. There's American companies all over the world. We all work at American companies. All of our stores we work at sell American products. Do what you can. That includes boycotting the store I work at. I work in an adult toy store, and most of our toys, yes, they're manufactured in China, but they're sold and purchased through the United States. That includes Cal Exotics, NS Novelties, NAS Toys. I'm going to add links that are retailers of adult toys that are not based out of the United States. The United States is full-on Yahtzee, fascist. They're already attacking other countries. They're threatening Mexico, Cuba, Greenland, Canada, everywhere. They're causing civil unrest. They're pew-pewing their own citizens and immigrants and everyone and spreading tyranny. Yahtzee Germany became Yahtzee Germany in 1933. They invaded Poland in 1939. The United States has already attacked and invaded another country. So in that sense, it's worse.
A new report shows how much damage Trump's trade war with Canada is costing Washington State, as well as other states along the northern border. Nationwide, the number of vehicles crossing the U.S.-Canada border dropped by nearly 20% compared to last year. Here in Washington State, Spokane saw 33% fewer visitors in March compared to a year ago. Over half the businesses in Bellingham reported losses due to this decline in cross-border travel. And ridership on the Clipper between Victoria and Seattle is down 30% this year. Trump's trade war with Canada is as stupid as it is damaging. We could end this trade war tomorrow if more Republicans would grow a spine and stand up to Trump. And let's be clear, Donald Trump threatening Canada to become the 51st state, how totally insulting. Canadians are our friends and they are our neighbors. Those kinds of threats are total garbage. The tariffs, the threats, the insults, this needs to end. We need to focus on repairing this relationship. If your business is being affected by this trade war with Canada, reach out to my office. Share your story and speak out.
So Donald Trump was right. Canada does have a 300% tariff on things like butter. But what he's not telling you is that this tariff from Canada is based on a quota. And what that means is Canada allows a certain amount of product to be transported to the United States at low to 0% tariffs. And then when it reaches a certain quota, then it jumps to 300%. And that seems fair. You know, you want to keep your product close to home. And that has been the case since 1995. This quota of low to 0% tariffs and then jumps to 300%. So you using that reason to start a trade war is bullshit. Canada will not become a 51st state. They will not stop with the tit-for-tat tariffs. And if you continue to keep doing this, tariffs are going to get out of control and then nobody's going to be able to afford anything. We already have 1 million people with a more expensive electricity bill. Stop this.
Americans will no longer be able to freely cross into Canada. The Canadian government just announced that certain unmanned remote checkpoints on the Canadian border that allows Americans free access into the country are going to be discontinued following the ongoing escalations of tensions between Canada and America. In case you haven't heard, Donald Trump is the president, like the guy from Home Alone 2. And basically, he's made it part of his mission to antagonize pretty much every ally the United States has ever had. He tried to get another fascist elected in Canada, but unfortunately for him, he lost to Mark Carney, who is also a businessman similar to Trump, but he actually has some sense in his brain. And Canada has taken on a new stance where it's like, we're not going to back down to America. And if they want to treat us badly and try to ruin our trade, then we're not going to allow people to come into our country. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't go to Canada now if you're an American, but a lot of people don't know that there's parts of America that are basically Canada. Like the northern part, like the northeastern part, like say, you know, parts of New York or like Minnesota. There's parts of the country where the most convenient way to get there in America is to go through Canada. So because our countries have historically been so close, there are just like unmanned checkpoints where you can just drive through Canada and then, you know, get back to America if you want to. But not anymore. And now pretty much every single checkpoint is going to be like a border crossing, which ultimately means that people will make less money because it's inconvenient. People will go to jail, I'm assuming, because they want to break the rules. And just overall, two countries that have loved each other for literally like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, just don't anymore. Canadians hate us, as they should.
We have some big news right now. Canada has officially declared that close ties with the United States are over, according to Prime Minister Mark Carney. In a major news statement today, Mark Carney says that he is vowing retaliation against the United States and he will announce retaliatory actions after Donald Trump announces his tariffs on April 2nd. Carney said that it is clear that the United States is no longer a reliable partner in the Americas. Now, before I continue, TikTok could be banned in now 9 days, so be sure to follow me on Instagram, Substack, and YouTube. They're all linked in my bio. Carney is making clear that literally come hell or high water, Canada will not become a state of the United States. Canada is not necessarily even a friend of the United States anymore. For years, for decades, Canada has been a reliable ally to the United States, but that has officially changed. The era of close ties between the United States and Canada, according to Carney, is over. And it's likely going to stay over for the next 3 to 4 years. As always, comment below your thoughts, spread the word, and follow along to stay up to date on all the news that you need to know about. More to come, I'm sure, soon.
This is bigger than politics now. What started as online frustration has turned into something much larger because people are noticing a shift, a real one. Consumers in other countries are beginning to rethink where they spend their monies, what product they support, and what message they believe those purchases send. And now the conversation has exploded, especially as more people react to call for boycotts against certain American products. Some people are brushing it off, but others, they are furious because when people hear the word boycott, they don't just hear politics, they hear consequences, jobs, businesses, prices, and local economics. That's why emotions are running high right now, because whether people agree or disagree with this boycott, nobody can ignore the tension behind them. Now, here is where it gets interesting. For years, Americans' products dominated globally. Food chains, entertainment, fashion, and brands. There was this idea that no matter what happens politically, people around the world would keep buying. But now, some Canada consumers are becoming more intentional. They are asking questions like, where is my money going? What values am I supporting, and do I want alternative? And once people started thinking that way, markets feel it, not overnight, but gradually. And that gradual shift, that's what's making people nervous, because people are starting to realize something powerful. Consumers have influence, a lot of influence. Every purchase is a signal. Every boycott is a message, and whether you agree with it or not, that message gets attention. Now, on the other side of this conversation, there are people saying, why are everyday businesses being dragged into politics attention? Why should workers suffer because of disagreement between government or public figures? And honestly, that's a real concern too, because when economic pressure builds, it really affects only the people at the top. It spread downward into regular lives, into regular job, into regular families. That's why this conversation gets emotional fast, because for some people, this feels personal. They feel blamed for things they don't control. Other feels like economic pressure is one of the only way people can make their voices heard. And that's the clash we are seeing right now. Not just between countries, but between different ideas of power. One side believe money talk, the other side believe people are being unfairly catch in the middle. And something is in between all of that. The average person is just trying to survive rising costs, uncertainty, and non-stop friction. Now, let's be honest for a second. People are exhausted. Everywhere you look, there is tension, political tension, economic tension, and social tension. And now, even shopping choices feel political. That's the world people feels they are living in right now. A world where even buying a product can turn into a statement, and whether this trend grows or fade. One thing is becoming very clear. Global consumers are paying attention more than ever before. They are watching companies, watching government, and watching public reaction. And they are making decisions based on what they say. That changes everything, because once consumer realizes the power they hold collectively, businesses and leaders start paying attention differently. That's why reactions are becoming stronger. That's why debates are becoming louder, because this isn't just about products anymore. It's about influence, it's about identity, and it's about how connected the world has become. What do you think? Do Canada consumer boycotts actually create changes, or do they hurt everyday people more than anyone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because these conversations are only getting bigger from here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.
Y'all have got to be tired of seeing videos of influential people with a big platform, coming on their screen, yelling at their phone, talking about what this administration is doing, with no plan, no call to action at all. This ain't gonna be your average video, so stay tuned. And typically, my videos are for the Black community. This is going to be something that's addressing the entire country, right? People that's tired of this administration. And if you think Trump is still the issue and it's just him, I need you to wake the fuck up and realize that it is a lot bigger than that. That man is just the face, and we all know that. So this is going to be a call to action. I have a few things. But first, I want to start with taxes. File exempt. If you can, file exempt. Why are you paying taxes? when you know where your tax dollars is going. But turning around, confused and mad that that's where they went. You knew where they were going to go. You know where they're going to go. Okay? It ain't changing no time soon. File exempt, stop paying them. Okay? Stop paying them. Nary a tax return should be filed this year. Nary. Next, take boycotts seriously. Now, I understand that it's cool to think of a company as canceled, but why is it that they always pop back up? Why is it that they're always still in business? Why is it that we're so surprised that Euphoria actually went out of business because we stood on business? Why is Mael and all these different companies, and this is just examples, onesie, twosie examples, why is it that all of these companies that have proven that they do not care about their customers, that all they care about is their dollar, that they're going to make, that we're giving them the money. We're literally giving them the money, knowing what they're doing with it, knowing how they look at us. Do you know how that has to be a certain aspect of psychosis that we're going through to continuously give our money to companies and to franchises and to governments who we know is not going to do right by us with it. Take the boycotts seriously. If you don't know nothing else, please understand the power of your dollar, your individual dollar, your household's dollar. Okay? Your support. Take the boycott seriously. Period. Next, please stop buying unnecessary stuff. Specifically, and not just technology, but specifically technology. When you are buying technology, anything with a lithium battery, anything that is new and upgraded and using AI and has all this stuff, please understand that it's coming at the expense of other people in whole communities. We already know about what AI is doing to Black communities, and if you don't care about the Black community, if that's not enough for you to stop, if you don't care about Black people in general, you probably won't care about the next thing, which is Congo. A lot of the things that we use, these vapes, our phones, laptops, TVs, everything that has a battery just about in this country, that has a certain battery, I think it's a lithium battery, is literally killing people in Congo. It's literally killing people in Congo. The diamonds, stop buying diamonds. We just stop buying unnecessary stuff. Stop buying unnecessary stuff. You don't need it. If you're looking to propose and you want to buy a ring, look into moissanite or ask her what her gemstone is. But try to find other ways. Start to buy secondhand, because right now what we're doing is we're creating the demand. The more you buy, the more they're like, people want this, people need this. So we're going to continue to harvest these minerals through slavery in Congo. We're going to continue to harvest this information from our algorithms, while also polluting and poisoning Black neighborhoods all over this country. And if you don't care about Black people, okay, neighborhoods in general, because there are also white people that live in those neighborhoods. Mind you, this video is not just for Black people. I hope this video makes it somewhere to where people can hear it and start implementing these changes. Next, rent and toll road boycotts. I need us to act fast on all of these things that I'm saying. I need us to act fast, because these things can change. We can see change by next week. Next Saturday by noon, shit can be real different. And I mean for the better, because next Saturday by noon, shit will be different for sure. It's up to us how different it will be. But back to it. Rent and toll roads. Y'all don't understand the power that we have when I talk about our dollar. Focus on our dollar. If 10 people don't pay rent a month, okay, that's just 10 evictions. But we still got 500 units, so we're fine. 20 people, that's just 20 people out of 500. Even 100 people, it's rough, but it's just 100 people, because other people are going to also come and apply, right? But imagine you get majority of that 500 unit apartment building to boycott their rent. And I'm not talking about just don't pay it, demand lower rent prices, because I understand it costs to live and it costs to supply a place to live. But we all understand and know that it should not cost $1,800 for a one bedroom. What's that about? We just gonna keep lying down getting fucked? Is that because that's what's happening? It feels like we know where we're going as a country. We know where we're going. But are we waiting for it to get so bad to where now when we uprise, there's literally nothing that we can do There's nothing we can do. We can fight for justice. We can fight to change what and how. This motherfucker's doing shit that's we can't return back to where we're going with the way that with the way that this administration is leading us. Where they're leading us right now, they're doing shit that is like irreparable. There's no way to repair the damage that they're doing, and we have to act fast. Okay? What we don't want is to get to a point where now we're all in an uproar and there is now a revolution, but okay, all right, we got rid of it. We've off with their heads. We still have to sit with the bullshit. How about we avoid getting to the bullshit? All right, we've seen enough. Next, don't sleep on the toll roads. Boycott the motherfuckers. I know it might take an extra few minutes, and this list will not be easy or comfortable. This is where we rely on our community. Get to know your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. We need to learn to trust one another. Understand discernment is important and it is key, but get to know your neighbors. And not just your neighbors, the people that you go to the gym with, people that you see every day, people that you see at the grocery store, when you walk on your dogs. Get to know these people, because these are going to be the people that you will have to rely on. Because obviously, you can't rely on anyone else. And when I say anyone else, I mean the government, who we're supposed to be relying on. All right, and lastly, if you work right now in any industry, I'm in the healthcare field, so I'm going to talk about the healthcare workers. If you work in any industry and you want to help and you're uncomfortable, the least you could do is help the customers. And I'm trying to find the best way to say this, but my example would be, if you have a patient, say you're a nurse or a CNA or whomever, you work in a hospital and you have patients, give that patient extra stuff to take home. Let them know the stuff is free. Let them know the stuff is free. If a homeless person come into that hospital and they're hungry, and you might know that that's all they're there for, give them extra sandwiches. And this applies to every single industry. Because the people that you're making rich, you're making money, what are they giving you? What, a 10 and 5 ones every hour? While you make them millions, but you're stopping them, they're the customers who actually need this shit from stealing because what? You want a fucking gold sticker next to your name on it? Let's be for real. Let's be like completely dead ass. Like I'm being like, no funny shit. These are things that we can do. And obviously there's going to be people that's not down and they're going to be looking for these issues and people that's doing this to report. Learn how to shut the fuck up, but also know how to talk to the people that you can trust. Learn how to organize. Now, I understand these are things that will make you uncomfortable, but please, 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 if you don't take nothing else from this, the main 3 things for me: take these boycotts seriously. Take them seriously. File exempt. Nary a tax return. Okay? And stop buying unnecessary stuff. Those are things we all could really do. And if you can't do one, maybe put in the rent boycott. Try to organize with your neighbors. That is legal. Did you know that you can unionize with your neighbors? You can actually create a neighbors union or whatever and actually demand that prices be lowered. These are things that we need to use. So yeah, this isn't your average video of me yelling at my phone saying this is illegal and this is anarchy and okay, fuck what you gonna do about it? Fuck, you just in here talking. Like, anyway, y'all, please do this. And I'm so serious. If you got this far, I got a nonprofit dedicated to keeping Black history in our schools or community centers or churches, wherever I'm able to find a space. I want to keep Black history alive because they're making it illegal to teach Black history. I don't give a fuck. Also, yeah, don't do any of the things I said in this video.